6 million have died and more than 6 million have been displaced by a crisis we have largely ignored. The Democratic Republic of Congo has been engulfed in conflict for nearly 3 decades now. And we're here today to remind you why. I'm Annalise Borges, and this is The Stream.
We need to talk about the silent genocide happening in Congo. The exploitation of Congolese people has claimed millions of lives, and the media is not talking about it at all. 6 million Congolese people have lost their lives over the past decade. Around every hour, 48 women are sexually assaulted. Millions more have been displaced. Also, the Western world can continue to benefit off of Congo's natural resources like cobalt. The land of Congo has the largest amount of cobalt, which is a critical mineral used in technology. Western nations like the US, the UK and France have given military and financial aid to groups in Rwanda and Uganda to invade cobalt-rich areas. And because of these invasions, Congolese people are either killed or enslaved and forced to mine cobalt, which includes pregnant women and children.
Did you know your vape could be using materials extracted by child labor? Or that key components in your phone could be sourced from contested mines in a conflict causing the deaths of thousands of people every day? These are the issues that people campaigning for the Congo want you to be thinking about. Among them are our guests today, Hadija Ali from Friends of the Congo. She's joining us from Washington, D.C. Papi Orion, founder of Focus Congo, who fled the country as a child. He's joining us today from Munich. And Regan Mviri, a Congolese researcher and human rights activist, is joining us from Goma. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the stream today for this very important conversation. Before we begin, though, here's a clip Hadija posted on TikTok that may help us all situate this crisis.
Right now, there's modern-day slavery going on in the Katanga province, which is down here, of the DRC, because the US, UK, France, Israel, China, everybody wants DRC's resources. They want the coltan, they want the cobalt, they want the gold, they want the diamonds, they want everything that's in the DRC. In the eastern part of the DRC as well, they want everything that is in there. They have uprooted everybody who used to live in these communities so that they build mines. And here, in the border with Rwanda, rebels funded by both the governments of the DRC and Rwanda.
Hadija, the conflict in the Congo has been going on for decades now. Why is it important for you to bring attention back to it these days?
Thank you for having me first. The conflict in Congo has been going on for decades now, since 1996, and largely the world has been either ignoring it or just hasn't been told enough about it. Mm-hmm. We need to talk about it now more than ever because it affects all of our lives. It's the one conflict in this world that is directly linked with the luxuries that we get to enjoy, like our mobile phones and our electric cars.
And obviously is affecting millions of people, like
Absolutely.
Papi, for example. Papi, what would you say are the most pressing challenges right now? Once again, we're talking about a conflict that has been going on for decades, but what are the most serious issues at the moment?
Yeah, thank you again for having us. And I think the challenges are humongous in this conflict right now. If you are on the ground in Eastern Congo, specifically in Goma, you will see the challenges with your bare eyes. And I will say the one challenge is seeing the human that are reduced to nothing really. Like we have in this displaced camp, one of the displaced camp, we have about 800,000 people. They have the people have no food there. They have no basic need basically, and people are just living like animals. And so I would say that will be the first challenges that we're facing. But of course, there cannot be all these luxuries without peace. And as I walk around North Kivu, I meet with rebels. I meet with people that are a danger to our society, and I ask myself, what is going to happen to to the people tomorrow. And what is going to happen to even these kids. You have children 13-year-old that are in this camp and are being taken by different arms group, taken into the army. Us as an organization, we had to pay for some of these kids to get back home. But the challenge is great, and we don't know at this point what the solution is going to be.
Reagan, you are in Goma right now. Do you agree with Papi that the challenges are enormous?
Yes, there is a lot of challenges on the ground, and yes, I think the biggest, as he said, is protection of civilians. So there is a lot of displaced person around this city. There is also ongoing fighting right now, very close to the city, not 20 kilometers from here. And apart from that, I think that's the second biggest challenge is the fact that the states it's like the state is disappearing in a certain way in some places. So I think that is the biggest challenge, because it makes people not having any hope or any future. Because less you have the authority of the states, less you have no laws, it means that this will be going on and on, you know. So
Papi wants to weigh in. I want to bring back the whole political issue into the conversation. I will bring that on a little bit later, but Papi, go ahead first.
Yeah, I think just to second what my brother just said, I think the dangerous thing is that people are taking this as a norm now because they see like there is no help. We don't have the solidarity like other conflicts are having around the world. And so people on the ground are thinking this is how we're going to live the rest of our lives. And they're thinking either tomorrow we're dying or we're going to die because of lack of food or lack of shelter or basic needs. And so you have these children walking around and thinking, we don't have no future. There is no vision for the future. So that is very, very dangerous when you really see that children don't think about anything else than, okay, the best thing I can do is joining the army or
absolutely.
Yeah,
there are no prospects, right? And the fatalism of like,
Absolutely.
This is always going to be like this. I want to bring it into focus here, the issue of these online campaigns. There's quite a lot of talk going on online right now. Hadija, the online movement is quite big at the moment to bring attention back to the Congo. Do you think it can be translated into real action on the ground, though?
Absolutely. It is big, but it's not as big as it should be. Why? Because this country we get so much. We take so much from it. And the level of consciousnness that the global, the people of the world have regarding that conflict is just not nearly enough, right? Like I said, there's a concerted effort by the people who benefit, these are the governments and international corporate media, to hide this conflict from the rest of the world, right? So that they can continue the plunder. And so all of us, each and every one of us, has to speak about the plight of the Congolese people because it affects each and every one of us. That exploitation that is going on in the cobalt mines in Eastern Congo, in Goma, that exploitation directly benefits each and every one of us on a day-to-day basis. So each and every one of us really should be speaking about the conflict in the DRC.
It's very interesting. Reagan, I will go to you in just a minute, but I want to bring an element that we found while researching for this show online. One of the things that campaigners are pushing for is for us to rethink our consumption habits. Take a listen.
Over 6 million people have been unalived in the past 25 years. That is a little over 714 people a day. At least 48 women are being raped daily. And don't even get me started on the men, women, and children being blown up in those mines. Just for us to have our vapes in our carts, I'ma just say this. Knowing that has completely changed my perspective. And I love my carts, dude. But no hit or high in the world is worth the lives of innocent people.
Reagan, would you agree with what this social media user just said?
Yes, I think that's part of the problem, but it's not the only problem. I always say I have some issues with people who just define the conflict here in correlation, in relation with minds. There is a lot of to say about this conflict than just the link with mind. Of course, there is blood mind. In some places. Of course, the mines fuel this conflict. Of course, there are people who are benefiting of these conflicts because they get cheaper mines or the mines without going through the right way. But there is more than this, and I think more than this is much more about. We will talk about the politics, the internal issues, the internal challenges, but also the external challenge. Of course, I think it's important, especially when you're outside the country. It's important to focus on your own responsibility, and of course, the way of consumption. It's one way of thinking about Congo and thinking about what can be done about this, because I think yes, if we advocate for more transparency, we advocate for more accountability for both governments and companies. I think that will be a right thing to do, and that civil society outside DRC can help with that.
The DRC just held elections late last year, and the campaign slogan for the re-elected president read unity, security, prosperity. It couldn't be further from what certain Congolese people are experiencing at the moment. Online, we found a significant amount of criticism, like this one, for example: the people of Congo deserve a government that prioritizes their safety and well-being. Continued collaboration with the FDLR and other militia undermines this fundamental expectation and requires immediate corrective action. Hadija, I saw you were nodding before. Your take on this whole political issue within the country and the difficulty that authorities there have in terms of just getting a grip on the situation.
Yes, I wanted to add on to what my brother had just said, that we cannot reduce the whole the Congolese people or the Congolese conflict or the beautiful country that is the DRC to mining. We cannot do that. We have to remember that Congo is also home to the second largest rainforest in the world, and so this the Congo Basin is very important in combating climate change. And so us with our organization, Friends of the Congo, we work in all those areas, in the mines as well as in the rainforest, and also with governance, right? Because we need to support local Congolese communities and grassroots organizations that are trying to combat the elitism that that goes on, and so that the Congolese people become the beneficiaries, the people who benefit the most from their land's natural resources instead of the few at the top.
Poppy, your take here. I mean, you had to flee your country when you were really young. It's been going on for 30 years. Why can't politicians in the Congo just get a grip and fix this?
Yes. Yeah. Looking back at my childhood and how I was affected by this, being recruited as a child soldier and having to flee because of fear of what will happen to me and the unknown, and coming back to Congo and looking the same is like a circle. The same thing is still happening today. That really touches my heart to look at these kids and know that they are in the same case that I was, and they're being recruited and stuff. And then I look at the politics of the country, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't see no hope, because you're seeing all these corrupt politicians. And as election was going on, I was there myself, and I saw. I think South Kivu, which is my region, we have over 1,000 people contesting for government, because they understand the magnitude of the money that they're getting from the government. And so many young people, they just want They don't want to be in politics in order to better the lives of the people, but they just want to be there to get that money to and all these companies that are coming, multinational companies that are coming in, and that goes also overlaps with money, giving them, corrupting them with money in order to lobby for them on a on a national level, and so they want to be able to do that. So the level of corruption is huge. And going back to money again, of course, is not the only problem we have, but I think money plays a huge role because all these companies, the minerals which is coming out of Congo and being supplied to the outside world is quite huge. And without that, the outside world is not functioning. And so many multinational companies are sponsoring these politicians in order for them to lobby for them. And of course, we have some human rights activists that are now also part of the government because they've been corrupted by this government. They were speaking against it. Now they're speaking pro the government. So this is a huge problem, and
it's a pretty bleak picture that you paint here. I mean, as you said, the cycle of violence and the cycle of hopelessness that seems never ending. Regan, you brought a little bit of hope earlier in terms of the organizations and just the way the initiatives coming up from among the people. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Do you see that spreading and having a little bit more strength? Or like Papi, do you think that we're going to keep watching more of the same out of Congo?
Thank God there is some hope, and it's because of people on the ground and other initiatives which are on the ground. Yes, I think with this conflict comes a lot of sorrows, a lot of I can say a lot of suffering, but also a lot of resilience.
Papi, you wanted to add something, and then Khadija. Papi first, if that's all right.
Yeah, definitely. I think there is hope in Congo, and we have been working and really trying to change the narrative, because also at Focus Congo, we realized that, you know, the major media outlet of the world, they were not really talking about the hope of Congo and what Congo possesses. Like, if these minerals are there, we're not telling people, okay, don't come and mine in Congo. But this mine must benefit the people of Congo.
Of course.
You know, that's what we want. And we want to show the young people of Congo that this, what you have here, the coltan that we have here, it belongs to you. It doesn't belong to some forces coming from outside.
Absolutely.
And all this or this. Yeah,
you make a very good point. Khadija, you wanted to weigh in, and then I'll go back to Regan. Khadija, go ahead.
I wanted to weigh in on the hopeful part. There is a lot of hope. And now, especially more than ever, now that more people, right, the world is being exposed to the long-standing suffering of the Congolese people. Just last month, in December of 2023, Friends of the Congo was able to raise $100,000, an average of $20 from 5,000 people across the world. You see, this kind of solidarity, this kind of global solidarity is what the Congolese people need, and they will get it, because it's about time that we put our focus on the DRC and what's been going on there. So there's absolutely is hope for this and an end to the conflict, hopefully very soon.
On the global solidarity aspect, and Regan, I have not forgotten about you. I will go back to you. But on the global solidarity issue, many aspects of this crisis are being talked about online, as we mentioned. Here's another casualty of the conflict and the mining in the DRC that Khadija has mentioned, the environment.
One thing you can do right now in regards to speaking up is talk about the Congo Basin. Get the environments on the line, because a lot of smaller tech and other companies are trying to get in. Because what? They want our resources again. The Congo Basin is the largest forest on the continent of Africa. A bunch of companies are buying different plots of the land to do oil extraction. Up this forest will have irreparable climate repercussions. I'm going to do a deep dive tomorrow, but make sure you are talking about the Congo Basin right now.
Regan, do you agree that environmental activists could be a good source of support here for you guys?
Yes, I think yes, and I think it's one of the issues that need to be pushed because, of course, it gives hope, and also it shows that Congo it's not only a problem. Congo it's also the solution. So I think that's a right thing of seeing this and to know that Congo is a solution. But for that to be able to happen, we need to support people from Congo to make sure that they can have a state that can protect even this forest because it's in the interest of everyone.
Khadija, your take in how can the world help the Congo right now and the Congolese people, like Reagan just mentioned?
Definitely making sure that we are supporting local Congolese institutions, supporting people who are humanitarian efforts on the ground in Congo. For example, if you're raising funds, make sure that all of it, or if most of it, is going into the hands of the Congolese people so that they can bolster their the efforts to make sure the corruption is first and foremost eradicated, because corruption is very rampant. And another thing, we talked about the boycotts. These boycotts are when people find out about the blood that is all over the supply chain, they want to separate themselves. So let's put pressure on these companies to do the right thing. We have a lawsuit in collaboration with international rights advocates on behalf of 14 Congolese families. Please support that at freecongo.org. Support the humanitarian efforts going on in the DRC with Goma Active and also with Focus Congo and Papi Orion, and together we can definitely see change. And also let's put pressure on our governments. The US and the UK has been found to be supporting rebel groups in Eastern Congo. We have to stop that because millions of lives are being lost at a rate that we cannot even imagine, and this has to stop. It is a humanitarian catastrophe that has to stop.
I want to give a final word here to Papi. This is obviously a conflict we all mentioned here. There's so much at stake, and it's a very international conflict, despite the fact that the international community has largely ignored it. But Papi, you have been particularly affected by this conflict, as you mentioned. You were recruited as a child soldier. Can you tell us just a final word? What do you hope to see Congo go through in the next few years and decades? What do you hope for the future of your country?
The hope of Congo. The ultimate hope that I would like to see is to see peace in the entire Congo. To see a Congolese child waking up in the morning and knowing that they won't be able to hear the sound of bullets, or being scared of someone kidnapping them or somebody killing them. To see a Congolese woman waking up and walking to the farm and not being scared of being raped. But I also want to see the international community looking at Congo as an important country. You know, we know that Congo has been forgotten. Not only because we are far away, or we are on the continent of Africa, but also a lot of people don't want Congo to be known by the international community. You know, if you go to some of our neighbors, they will discourage you, don't come to Congo, because this country is full of savages, it's full of people that will kill you. And I want to tell you that Congo is full of amazing people. We have the Mukweges and a lot of young Mukweges. We have a lot of young people, like you can see, that want to see Congo a peaceful place, a friendly place, and we are very hospitable as well. So I want to see us enjoying what is ours, what we have been blessed with, all the resources that we have. We talk about the second largest rainforest. We have it. I've been traveling this and really discovering it.
And for all these reasons, you guys are definitely part of the solution for the Congo. I want to thank Khadija, Papi, and Reagan for joining us here on the stream for this very important conversation. And thank you for watching. As per usual, we would love for you to be part of this show. If you have a comment, an idea, or a subject that you'd like to flag for us, you can use the hashtag or the handle AJStream, and we'll look into your suggestions. Take care. and I'll see you soon.